4 years ago, this post would have gotten you erased from the entire internet, banned from the entire banking system, fired from your job, and blackballed from future employment in the Fortune 500. So what's the post? Last week, the United States refused to participate in the UN's review of the Global Compact on Migration. The United States objects to the Global Compact on Migration and UN efforts to facilitate replacement migration to the United States and our Western allies. Man. Each dot represents 100 migrants. This has 50 million views. Oh my, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god, that's insane. It's a swarm, yes, on this tiny little area. Facilitate mass migration into America and Europe, even as citizens of the nations called for restrictions on migration. Now the Global Compact's latest report urges nations to expand migration pathways and pursue regularization of migrants. So these people in the UN that are doing this stuff, you need to hold them accountable, because what they've really done is they've facilitated a cultural genocide. They've facilitated thousands of rapes, murders, and they've done so under the guise of morality. UN-funded NGOs handed out maps to migrants en route to the US. After facilitating mass migration to the United States, UN agencies condemned the deportations of illegal aliens. As Europe sustained migratory pressure, the UN agencies condemned frontline states who refused to open their borders. And while the UK faced unprecedented illegal boat crossings, the UN agency condemned plans for deportations. UN officials lobbied aviation regulators to prevent the deportation of migrants, an appalling violation of the UK's national sovereignty. The United States will not legitimize global compacts that enable mass migration into America or Western nations. Under President Trump, the State Department will facilitate remigration, not replacement migration.
And it's not just me saying, you go to these NATO meetings, you meet with people, what they will tell you is our shared history, our shared legacy, our shared values. Well, if you erase your shared history, your shared culture, your shared ideology, your shared priorities, your shared principles, then you just have a straight up defense agreement. That's all you have. So what I'm trying to point to, and what we've tried to point to, is very simple. That is, at the bedrock and at the cornerstone of our relationship, for example, with Europe, is the fact that we do have a shared culture, a shared civilization, a shared experience, and shared values and principles. And this nation are the inheritors of, in many cases, because many of these ideas that led to the founding of our country found their genesis in some of these.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
If you take that away, if that's wiped out because for whatever reason it's no longer a priority, I do think it puts...
I'm also really glad, like, there are some Americans that, like, have a, I guess, like, maybe an ego thing of, like, people not wanting to admit this. But the real truth is that America came from Europe. A lot of our ideals, our values, and everything are shared with Europe.
And it's something that we should be unapologetic about. Anyone who doesn't recognize, for example, that many of the features of our system of government find their root in Roman and Greek history is...
That's my guy, bro.
Is a fool. It's just not true.
Yeah. Man, I'm really happy to see this. This is great. And Mark's completely right about this, by the way. 4 years ago, this post would have gotten you banned. It's crazy how much progress that we've made in only 4 or 5 years. Like, think about in the peak of 2020, COVID hysteria, and then think about where we're at now.